I'm happy with that. Go.
So I want you to envision an online game that is designed for harnessing collective intelligence and is purposed for making seeds a vehicle currency that solves world hunger at the grassroots, at the local level. And so when we look at hunger, it's a huge problem that is built into very colonial and systemic issues. And it's very hard to quantify 822 million souls being hungry. You know, that's more than 10% of the planet, but it's not that, it's entire nations are destitute. And so in order to make this relatable, I just want you to think of one person and think of yourself, and then you'll start to see it through that lens. So this is a child in Nigeria who was cast out by his family for being a witch, and he was left to die. And this is one woman giving him food. As you can see, he looks completely gone. And this is the effect of her caring for that one child. So how do we connect individuals to the challenge? How do we connect farmers directly to consumers? How do we decentralize this colonial model? So this mission is really, how do we establish a collective model that's a vision which we can plug into, that doesn't actually belong to any one group, doesn't belong to United Planet, it doesn't belong to Seeds, essentially. It belongs to all of us in terms of how we play. Well, so how are we going to empower the collective intelligence of citizens and super citizens to rapidly prototype and scale local solutions to this planetary challenge? So I'm going to ask you this one big question, and I don't fully have the answer to it, but I feel in this is a lot of wisdom. How can we empower millions of citizens to turn solving zero hunger into the greatest global sport? I want you to think of Champions League tables, of the things that yield the greatest benefits to the local civilization, that reduce the cost and increase to the highest quality. So the problem that we see is that food is locked in the confines of a very old and broken colonial system. In fact, aid, which is seemingly our charitable model, has been keeping people dependent and drowning trillions of dollars into a bucket with holes at the bottom. So if we're to build these new models, before we can talk about real systems change, people in these countries will only be receptive once their bellies are full, once that has changed. And so how do we reverse engineer 2030? We start with a new canvas, which is what Seeds is doing, and which is why I'm so damn excited about what you guys are doing. So unlocking the power of collective intelligence. These are communities around the world. This was designed by Oxford University, and how the different models are rapidly scaled and prototyped to different areas, and how citizens themselves at the grassroots will be empowered with Seeds so as to enable this massive movement, this massive change. So in 2 weeks' time, on World Food Day, we're gathering some of the leading minds globally. We've only got a couple of weeks' notice for them to futurecast their 2030, essentially how they solved the challenge, you know, how they were a part of this global solution. And from there, we're aligning a roadmap on a planetary grid that takes the leading solutions and places them, here's Seeds, there you go, and places them into essentially league tables of how best we're decentralizing food to the local level. Eventually, you want to get to one-click to impact. So the farmer and the consumer, basically, it's like this. They basically will be able to purchase their meals from the farmers that they want in a very rapid way. So I see within this that you've built the infrastructure, and please allow me to use your beautiful your beautiful app, graphics, everything that you've done here. I mean, it just soothes the soul to know that this has been built. So how are we going to take it to the next stage, which is the fabric that brings this vision all together, so where people can see where we're trying to head to in 2030, and they can start to plug in and start to play the game on different levels, and how corporations can start to bring in their people. And so in some ways, and this will evolve based on your intelligence and your feedback, and it's like crafting a sculpture out of a block. To play, people really only need to give up one meal. You know, they could give up one meal a month, they could give up one meal a year, a week, but they put that money that they would have spent on that meal. Or there's some very exciting ways where they can buy seeds, really small seeds, or play on a free level, or luck gets involved, where there's all kinds of things. But ultimately, there's a World Harvest Festival, which has been missing for 1600 years, since the Romans and then the Goths pretty much wiped out the Eleusinian mysteries and shut down a festival that had been running for 2000 years, where we gathered each year as one people to celebrate the harvest globally. And it was on September 22nd, which is the equinox, September equinox, but it could also be on December 21st, because that aligns quite well to when people are most giving and aligns to the winter solstice. But it's how do we get there between now and 2030? And we want everything within this entire vision to be broken down to the pixel level. So you can fund at any level that you want. You can play at any level you want, time, resource, money, seeds. You can get involved and you can start to build your own micro movement, and your own intelligence can start to, so you might be a small person, but you might live with, heaven forbid, the Kardashians or someone. Not that I'm a fan of them or anyone else, or Katy Perry or God knows, but these influencers or footballers like Cristiano Ronaldo, you may be the person who convinces them to leverage their network. And when we spoke to the key people, Sergey Brin and so forth, they said once the product is built, you will have an intelligent plugin that goes onto all their platforms and will track and trace how these movements build, and then would repay the person who started the movement a certain amount of seeds in a graduating level. So if you've initiated with your intelligence, you may have nothing, but you may have connections, and you may have intelligence, and you may think of something we haven't thought of before. Hopefully not the, another strange, weird challenge of pouring corn over your head or something, but something, there'll be cool things. There'll be music videos that get remastered with things. There'll be cool ways that people build their own movements, and all of it will be underpinned with a seeds structure. So we're essentially looking to democratize hunger and to release this powerful toolkit that speeds to our new planetary engine. Again, this page is really how everyone plugs in, how they share and grow, how you build your own thumbprint, how global partners, and the key one, global partners, and we've got some people working with leading groups that will get them to use their branding, their own media, their own purpose within their organization, whether you're a fan of Amazon or not, leveraging their workforce to participate in something like this. Suddenly enables rapid mobilization towards, but it's how people can plug in. And these are some numbers here at the end. We estimated that about $7.5 million into this overall structure would unlock initially some very key pilot projects, which are like Archimedes lever projects of about 43 million. And then set in motion a alignment fund of about 2.1 billion. We, in our analysis over the past 7 to 10 years, actually solving world hunger only required 2.1 billion at key lever points that were necessary for kickstarting a model that would perpetually grow in and of itself at a very compound rate. So that the plan, and this is what I wanted to discuss with you, is to invest via seeds into this United Planet structure. The currency appreciation, and I believe you're at 0.7, maybe you're at 0.11, you can tell me, I don't know. That's where they get their return, but the hunger would be an evergreen structure. So it would be constantly reinvesting in itself. I don't want any equity in it. I just want souls to, I just want this to be solved. And so the overall equity structure will be EverGreen, but they will, as best as I can tell, and hopefully you can improve on this, they would fund through seeds. And if they put 43 million in of key project capital at the key lever point, that would create that currency appreciation and everyone wins. Thank you for hearing me out.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to send you some feedback docs because I have some, this is incredible. So first off,
wow.
Fantastic,
This is
incredible. You're definitely on the same tune. We have some other ways to upgrade this. One of them, we're building Light Food, which is a peer-to-peer local food app. It's how we can actually drive this marketplace, and we get to charge 0% fees. Uber Eats takes up to 30% cut. A lot of restaurants don't even make money off of Uber Eats. They're just using it to get more publicity. But we get to come in with an app and do 0 fees. None at all.
Amazing.
But any difference between 30% and 0, we could offer the restaurant to donate that to hunger.
Amazing, amazing.
Hey, I'll take a 25% cut. I'll give 5%, to hunger, and I make 25% more. Okay, that's perfect. So that's an easy sell to get all of the restaurants and everyone producing food into this instead of Uber Eats and the Grub Hubs, et cetera, et cetera. So that could be one of the funding vehicles, and we're talking tens of millions off of just 1%. People are doing on average 5%. We're talking hundreds of millions. So it's like the amount of that could flow through this if we do replace the Uber Eats and the Grub Hubs would be astronomical. So that's one piece that we're putting together now. Actually, Igor's building the Light Food app.
Oh, I knew I loved you.
So we plan on having an MVP up and going here in Bali this month, actually.
Wow.
So we've been iterating on this Light Food app for a long time, and it's a massive concept that we just rethink food on every level. Meaning restaurants get to signal out what they actually want. So they could say, hey, I want to grow lotus flower, even if there's no lotus in the market. Farmers get to see the projected what's needed by restaurants. So they can be like, oh, there's a high demand for potatoes. Cool, so I'll plant potatoes, tomatoes, etc. So then farmers can go there and signal what they need to grow. And then that's feedback back to the merchants so they know what food's available in the market. Then we get the food counts from all the food that everyone's producing. So that inventory happens automatically from the food producer, or sorry, the restaurant or the at-home cook. I say at-home cook because California just legalized at-home cooking. So we're going to start there too, along with the rest of the world. For that. Yeah.
Legalized home cooking.
Yeah, as if that was illegal, right? No, so what we can do is we can manage inventory for these at-home chefs. So every time they sell a plate, it automatically deducts, hey, that was potatoes, so -1 potato, tomatoes, etc. And then what this does is then we could deliver to every person buying on this app exactly how much food counts they ate. So every time they order a dish, it tells them how many calories they consumed, how much protein, and everything they got. So now people want to use this app. Not only is in a lot of cases it's better than free to use it because people are getting rewarded to use the app rather than being charged fees. Now they're getting all their counts of what they're actually getting. The merchants have an inventory management system that we're also delivering them for free. And the restaurants have a way of delivering food to their audience that's, again, free. Or maybe, we're taking 1% for hunger. Yeah, so we're building all this into an app. We're running it here in Bali with another really beautiful component where people donate money to 1, feed hungry people, and 2, get trash and plastic out of the environment. So what we do is we actually pay people in seeds for taking plastic out of the environment.
Amazing.
And use those seeds to then buy food. So we're cleaning the environment, we're feeding people.
And then we use that plastic to go and make school furniture.
Wow.
So that's the one we're testing here in Bali. We could take that everywhere in the world to feed people, clean up our environment, and deliver the seeds ecosystem across the globe so that people can move into a new civilization structure, right? That's what it's all about.
Amazing, amazing. And the thing is you're creating conscious food as well, because you're going to create the restaurants and the farmers by putting them together. As people eat, they'll even know the story of their food. Do you know what I mean? They'll know where it's come from. It's just amazing.
It's on the individual level. We want people turning their lawns into food gardens. They can download the app, say restaurants around me want microgreens and whatever. They can go and see exactly what's wanted in the market, how much money they can make producing it. And then we send in permaculturists everywhere. We subsidize them going in and giving courses away for free, teaching people how they can turn their lawns into food gardens. That's what we need to do. We need to localize our
You know what? You're killing me.
on the very
You're
ground.
killing me.
You know?
You're killing me. Reiki, honestly, I couldn't be happier. I think my face is going red. Making homes.
Timing is wild, right? Because last week we went down to meet our partners on Live Food and discuss whether we were or weren't going to take it forward. And we ended up obviously like driving into it and taking it forward. We met another great guy to lead it. Another great guy's come on. Eagle's continued to develop on it. And so we've been pressing the button on that a week ago. So for you to bring this right now and the integration now of that, the deck you have plus the integration of the deck on this is so powerful. I can't tell you, you know, the serendipitous nature of the timing is just like, it's wow.
Well, thank you. I was woken up at 6 a.m. by a dream, and there was like, it was a bank that we were delivering. It was checks of $50 each, and they were in bundles like this. And there were just tens of thousands of them. And as we brought it in, it was just a weird dream. It was, I was like joking with them. I was like, are you going to be able to process all this? I said, no way. But it was somehow that people through meals, each person a single meal, had been able to affect the global food system. It was like rallied through the grassroots. And then someone tried to kill me, but there you go.
I have to tell you, Seeds started off as light food. The whole initial concept was a peer-to-peer local food app to localize our food systems and make it better than free. So that's really where Seeds started. It grew out into what you see Seeds as today, like a new economic system. But so we have a lot of backlog of design, how we get this app out there, what light food looks like. So that's been in the works for 4 years. Interestingly, Igor picked it up like a month ago, and he's like, I'm going to build this. And my ignorant self was like, I don't think we should do that. Let's focus on, you know, the passport and the direction we're going right now. And he's like, no, I'm going to do it. And then he did it. And then
Igor.
This is what I love about collective intelligence, because if I was someone in charge of this thing, I would be messing it up. So lucky for me that I'm not driving it and everyone's coming together to like do this together. So anyway, yeah, this is perfect timing. Let's definitely put this out there, and we're ready to start sprinting, right?
Yeah. So we should have evolved this deck fast because you've got a meeting in 2 weeks.
I'll send it to you. I'll send it. Yeah, I'd like one of you to speak on World Food Day. It's a social gastronomy movement. They're linked into chefs in about 60 countries. They're trying to solve in Colombia for the 7 million people that are refugees and hungry there. And there's going to be the World Food Program is talking, you know, there's the people from Google, Regenerate Food, all of them were lining up to talk. What we're doing at the moment is we're getting them to talk for like 3 minutes on the 2030 and how they participate in that vision. Then we're going to curate 12 key people into a team with yourselves that can roll out this integrated model. So I'll just send you the PowerPoint. Whatever you think needs to change. If you want to put the Seeds logo front stage center, fine with me. It really, for me, I've got it's about the challenge. You know, it's not, it's really not anything else. So I'm with you. Cool.
Exciting.
Awesome.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, that's perfect timing. Really is. So it's send the deck over, we'll iterate it. What else? When are you thinking about coming out to Bali, buddy?
Soon.
Last thing, bringing it back to the funding of this, you mentioned them buying seeds and getting that like 7.5 million. One, I don't think we need that much to do this. Maybe we do, but anyway, they could definitely do that. I think we could even put up a campaign request to get the amount of seeds needed and let the seed citizens directly give the seeds to whoever's going to fund this.
Okay. So you think we could, it's like crowdfund through Seeds?
Yeah.
Okay, amazing. Yeah, so whatever you think. I actually started with a 1.5 million.
Do that.
We could also crowdfund, but what Reiki was suggesting is the way seeds are given out right now is the community voting on grants and campaigns. So we get the community to vote on those seeds, and then we get the capital provider to come in, get those seeds,
But
then we
still,
deploy
you
the capital.
Yes, but we still want to deliver seeds out to a large number of people. So I think first we try to crowdfund this, which is all part of the game anyway. We want to involve a lot of people.
Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense to crowdfund it. Maybe from a couple individual providers, we take in like 50K each. So we keep following that really centralized model where no one's coming in more than that. And then we use that money to tell the story, get the marketing ready and the branding ready. So then we can crowdfund well and crowdfund right.
Amazing.
So let's just raise money to do a crowdfunding. This needs to be by the people, you know?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'll totally follow what you guys think in the model. What I would say is if it's like a designated fund or something that we set up for the challenge. I was also thinking you could actually do the whole thing on about 1.5, but the reason I put up the number was because anytime I talk to the bigger investors, which I get the feeling that they're not going to be the ones that do this. I know a lot of big legacy people, but they would go, oh, I can't take you seriously if you're talking about a number that's less than 10 million and you're trying to solve a global challenge. And I'm like, okay, So I do think it's going to happen at the grassroots, but because they see tens of billions each year poured into hunger and no change. Because the aid system just pours in tens of billions each year and maintains just this shitty system. And so that's and we put a summit together 4 years ago where we wanted to put an axe right down the middle of that. Share that story another time. But anyway, I know you guys don't have time. This is only a half an hour slot. So
no, we've got a bit more time, David. Like let's talk this out. If you've got time, that's great.
Do we have more to record? Should we end the recording there? Then? Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.